Episode 44 of Behind the Charts podcast. We are joined here today by Brad Schulten, otherwise known as Savvy B. Another great trader that looking forward to this conversation with them. As usual, we got Christine. She's back. She was off last week and she's in Mexico. Everything's good. She's fine. She's smiling. So no complaints there. And then Thomas, as everybody knows, is in Japan eating ramen and hitting his head on doorways. The door frames are too small. So he keeps bumping his head everywhere he goes. So he will be back in a few weeks. But yeah, no, let's just kick it off and make it simple. Brad, if you don't mind, just kind of filling in the viewers and the guests a little bit about yourself and how you got into trading and where you're at.
Yeah, well, my name is Brad Schulten, SavvyBTrades on Instagram. I grew in communities coming up as Savvy B. I'm actually a licensed electrician. I was on the tools for a little over 10 years. I mean, I still am an electrician. I'm not on the tools anymore. I don't like being up and down ladders. I started trading about 2018. Like anybody, came in. I was a cowboy, lost a bunch of money my first couple of years, but I just wanted an avenue to create income aside from my work money. I felt like as a tradesman, we bust our ass for 12 hours a day. I was on the road all the time, and all that money we make just goes right to our mortgage, right to our bills, right to this. So I started trading just as an avenue to make extra money to take care of the car note, take care of the mortgage. And eventually it just grew. And then eventually it was just like, I can replace my 9-to-5 with this. And, 2026, here we are, full-time trader, growing the community, teaching people what I can, what I learned along my journey. So yeah, electrician, full-time trader. That's pretty well it. Sums it up right there.
You said what? Oh, that's a lot, because I know what electricians make in Canada, and they make a pretty good income. So the fact that you could replace that with trading means something. It's not like you were just working at a gas station, making $7 an hour. I
did juggle both for a bit. Like a few years ago, I left work for 6 months to trade full time, and then I got offered a great position. They're like, "Well, we'll let you trade." I didn't have to go in until 11:30 every morning, and I could work afternoons. So I was making both work. But why are we in this, right? For freedom. I want to spend summers on the boat. I want to be able to go to the gym in the afternoon. So, my first couple of years I struggled, and then I learned this incredible level system, built my own models, and just, how it is, 10,000 hours on the chart watching candles print. Eventually it all clicks, right? So, thankful I got a system that enables me to ditch the 9-to-5. And yeah, it's a great career. And I respect all the tradesmen out there. My whole family's full of them: carpenters, plumbers, electricians. But this is the trade of the trade is day trading.
I love it. And I love how you said, and this is where I preach this all the time. And I still don't say I'm full-time trading because I'm making content and we're doing coaching now and streaming and whatnot. But I love how you said you were looking at trading as that side hustle.
Yep.
So you are working a full-time job. You weren't like, I'm going to get into trading. I'm going to quit being an electrician tomorrow. You're like, no, let's see if I get my car payment. Let's just bring in some extra money, and be nice. And eventually that put you into a position where you are trading full-time now. But I think if more people just came into it with that mindset of like, how can I make a couple extra $100? And this is something I talk about. I did I think I went 2.5 months, 12 weeks in a row where I took $1,000 to $1,500 a month out of Top Step.
Yeah.
And people were like, you see these massive payouts on social media, like, oh, I just, got 60 grand payout, or I got this. And I was like, those are awesome at some point in time. But in the beginning, I know multiple people that want to learn to trade. And if they made $200, $500 extra a week, it would change their lives. It would be that vacation they go on. It would be, one of the car payments or something that stress that they had over their head, where they were still comfortable in living, but it just takes that ease off. And I think understanding that trading is one of those things that the sky's the limit. There's no ceiling.
Yeah.
But if you take your time and get there, you can quit your job and become full-time trading, right? But it's like, let's just baby steps and treat it as a side hustle, make some money, not put all that stress on yourself, and get to a place where, you are today. And I think that a lot of people don't do that.
It's all about big tips. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, one of my favorite traders, Dan Cook, he just did another podcast with Austin. He's been on our show. And I think one of his clips said that trading is an amazing supplemental income.
Yes.
And for someone like him, he's a teacher and he trades because of his time zone. He comes home and trades for like an hour or whatnot. And I think his goal for this entire year was to make $50,000 in payouts. And a lot of times, like $50,000 is not really enough to have this like amazing lifestyle. Maybe it covers some bills, all these things. But when you add it on top of an income that you're already making, like that can be a huge difference. Like, but he just has a really good outlook on not shooting for the stars. And I messaged him and I'm like, dude, I don't think 50,000 is like, I think you're gonna, it needs to be more than that.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going to do this. Like, this is my path. And I'm like, great, like good for you. But I guarantee that man will make more than $50,000 in trading this year. Mark my words. But
yeah, well, it's all about base hits. And that's what I need to learn at the start, right? Because we, like you said, Randy, we see all these big payouts, all these traders. And I actually, the biggest payout I got was 52,000 from one 50K account in with Apex. And I was actually number 17 on the list for that month, the only Canadian trader on there. So that was kind of pretty cool. But I knew that wasn't realistically going to happen every few months, right? So, you know, as long as I could take care of my mortgage or whatever, the car note, the phone bill, everything like that is all that mattered to me at the time. Because you go to work for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You don't want to spend that money. You want it to stay in your bank. The worst thing ever is going and working all day and then, I got no money at the end of the month, right? But base hits, and that's why, like, you know, I teach a lot of traders, and I'm like, if you can come in and hit 10, 20, 30 points every day, that's all you need. You know, if you even if you have 4 or 5 micros, like those base hits add up. Like, you know, today we caught an 80-point trade. The last 2 weeks, my biggest trade was 40 points, you know, just little base hits, little base hits, little base hits. That's all it takes. So we get a skewed vision of all these big payouts coming in, but realistically for new traders, it's not what's going to happen, right? Like what you're doing, Randy, that's base hit.
Yeah. I think that's real. And then eventually you scale up and then you have $4,000, $5,000 weeks, right? But it's like, until you consistently have $500 weeks, you're not going to have those $5,000 weeks. And if you do, it was an outlier. And like you said, you had that $52,000 month with Apex, but you're probably far and few between that it was $50,000 payouts like that again, right? Because we go through these moments where you know, you're just reading the market well, or we were 3 months ago. Price was just like, you just buy and you're making money, right? Whether you sit in the trade or you scalp, you're making money. And here we are in a sideways market is where we really get tested. Can we survive these days? Or like, I think Christine you were saying, who said it, like you have, you go through periods of drawdown, like red, and periods of green, like where you have periods where you're just crushing it. And then you have periods where it's like, now I just got to survive. I'm in survival mode. If I just get my base hits, and then and this is what I tell people. We had a conversation on our coaching call about with Mike Schwartz about passing combines, and he would just be YOLOing his combines and trying to get the 2-day pass. And there are people that do that and do it well. I've done it well in trending markets.
Yeah, just full send it.
But when it's sideways, you cannot do that. And what I said to him and where I found success in the last few months is just, okay, cool. I know I need to make on a 50K, an example, I need $1,500, 2 days, I pass it. Well, why don't I just say, if I can get 300, 500 a day, I can pass it in 6, but I know one of those days will be 1,000 or 1,200.
Yes.
So I'm really passing it in 4. Like Christine's doing this really well right now, where it's like, before it's like, if you don't pass it in 2 days, it's going to take you a month. That's the kind of mentality I think a lot of people have. Like, if I don't pass this in 2 days, it's going to take me too long. And it's like, if you passed it in 4 days, what's the difference of 2? Like, you're still passing it in the same week. You started a combine on Monday, you're starting a funded account on the next Monday, if you had a good week. But it's like, we get out, and now I pass combine sometimes in 2 days, sometimes in 5 days, sometimes in 6 days. I don't think about it. I just pass them.
Yeah.
Right. Like
that's the thing. What's the rush? It's all about the process too, right? So you know that as long as you trade your edge, you don't have to try and force it to be passed in 2 days. Like whether it's a week, you trade the edge and you take advantage of the setups you have. It doesn't matter if it's 2 days, 5 days, as long as you get funded, that's it, right? And then don't rush the payout. Just base hits, base hits, base hits.
Yeah. And I think when you apply the idea that not all your trades are going to be winners, 2, not all combines are going to get passed. Some might be failed. Like, for example, I'm fully funded again with Top Step. I have 5 50K accounts. It took me 11 tries to get 5 accounts. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if it's bad.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
It's my metric now that, once I go through this round and I get back to the place where hopefully I've taken payouts, maybe I've lost all those accounts again or whatnot, then I can compare myself to the next round of, okay, how many times is it going to take me to get fully funded again? Like, you can compare against yourself, but realize once I got the idea that I didn't have to pass every combine on my first try, and it is okay to fail them sometimes. Like, it's the cost of doing business. It's a lot easier to think of it that way, for me at least. So I don't feel bad. Like, if I have to reset an account, it's just like, okay, that's just a bit of an extra cost. Like, it's part of the full cost of having these funded accounts.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's a hard thing for traders. Like, you accept it and you recognize it as part of the business. But I think a lot of traders, they fail and they jump right in another one, force another trade. Like, they have to, especially if you have 5 accounts. So say you go down to 4 or 3, a lot of traders will be like, I got to get back up to 5.
Yeah.
Like, I need, it's like, it's not how it works. It's the cost of doing business. Sometimes you gotta blow an account. You gotta fail a couple evals, right?
So. Yep.
No, I love that. And I think more people, and that's just like, I think in the beginning, you just attach yourself, like your identity becomes the account.
Yeah.
And you can't, and again, the same Mike that was struggling with his combines was, we have we post our profits every day, and he got to a point where he was on such a green streak that if he had a red trade, he would not let his day end there. He had to get green because he was ashamed to post a red day in the chat. And you could see how exactly, like, and then he's like, but even said, he's like, I felt ashamed. And I'm like, dude, I know that feeling. But it's because the outcome of the trade is identifying who you are, and it's not win or lose, doesn't matter. You're a good trader, a bad trader, degenerate trader, amazing trader, whatever you want to say. But the outcome of that trade, what happens when you get hit, your stop loss gets hit or your take profit gets hit, does not define you, right? And I think people in the beginning, and so now 6 months ago, if I lost an XFA, I'd be like, fuck, man. Like, now it's just like, okay, so I'm down, like, if I paid 150 or 200 for the XFA or something, I'm down $200. Like, she's gone. Let's get another one going. Or what am I focusing on? What happened, right? Like, and I think that's where it's, because when you think about it, if you pay an activation fee included now, $100 for an account, you get it, you trade it, you don't take a payout on it, and a month later you lose the XFA, you lost $100.
Yeah,
you didn't lose a 50K account, you didn't lose $2,000 of drawdown, you lost $100.
Yeah. You lost a nice meal out.
That's it. Not even a nice meal nowadays. Like, where do you
like an average meal out?
Yeah. An appetizer at the keg.
Yeah.
But I know Christine is, so we all come from the origin of VWAP. Like, we all met, me, Christine, and Thomas met through Austin. That's how we
Our origin story is VWAP.
The VWAP,
and we're all at 3 different places where I currently use VWAP, order flow, bookmap, and volume profile. So I like levels, I like my visuals and bookmap, and then I use VWAP too. Where Christine now has, she's more just doing levels.
Okay.
So I know you trade levels, and I know she's gonna probably pick your brain for the next 30 minutes on it. So I know we'd love to hear kind of how you got there, what you're looking at.
Well, so the level system I have is very unique. There's a very specific way to trade it. It's based on institutional order flow. It's not ICT concepts. It's not previous day high lows. It's not a YouTube university strategy. It's almost, I hate to say it, but it's like gatekeeped. Actually, the mentor that I had for it, it took me a year to get in with him to learn this system.
Wow.
So, it's based on institutional pivots in the market. There's very specific ways to chart them. You actually have to go in and manipulate chart settings to chart these levels. You've probably seen, Randy, like I definitely have a different way of trading.
Yes. Yeah.
The purple line, like today, we caught that at the bottom, that move. I don't know if you know, like we crushed that. And I see so many traders, like, I didn't have an entry. I'm like, you don't have the levels. That's all there is to it. So I do incorporate the way I learned how to trade it is you look at the opening print. And I kind of threw that all aside because I was an ICT trader. And then I started bringing in SMTs, like FVG's discount ranges, and I stack those with my key levels, and it just gives us an incredible edge in the market, right? But the foundation of my entire strategy is these levels. So every day, the first thing I do is see where my key levels are, and then I look for price. I have M2, M5 buy and sell setups. So when we have a 2-minute displacement candle above a level, when that candle closes, the next candle crosses that body close, that signals our entry. We have a tight stop below the level, and we target the opposing liquidity or the next level. So today was just a bounce off a level. We traded at 80 points to the next level, and then that was it. So nice. It's a unique system. Thankful that I have it. But yeah, it's
if someone wanted to learn how to do your levels, what would they have to do?
Yeah, well, they'd have to take the mentorship.
Yeah.
I wish I could just give out the secret sauce, but I'll be honest, it's a very unique system. It's not like you think. And I have traders that are like, man, like I did not think it was like this. So it's just it's not no YouTube University stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very unique system. So you'd have to, basically what you need to do is you have to find out where key institutional pivots are in the market. And that's the foundation of it, right? When you have those pivots marked, then you can build on top, and then that's where you get the models. But it's some days, like today, low a day, our key level. If you want, check the Instagram. Yeah. It's beautiful. And then even gold. All my trades today were level trades. We had a beautiful bounce off gold, caught 24 points. We had the bounce off NQ, and then I actually took a rejection off NQ at the high of the day. We had another level up there. So, nice. And then if we get stacked levels close to another, on the S&P 500 and NQ, it's like an 80% win rate. We're going to get the bounce. There's continuation buys. So we might have price come up, reject a level, and you can see it. There's no displacement. So there's sellers are there, but the institutional pivot is we're going to push higher. So then we have a continuation buy through that level type thing, right? So
right.
Yeah, I'll be honest, if I didn't have this system, I don't know if I'd be where I'm at in trading. If I didn't have the levels on my chart, I'd be lost.
Yeah. So I'd love to talk about then the stuff that you don't need your specific levels for, but there's a lot of other level traders out there. And there are things that you do. Like I was looking at your Instagram and I noticed that and I don't know if you do it for every trade, but you got to 1R and you took profit off and moved your stop to break even.
Yes.
Like, can we talk about some of those things that let's say you don't want to learn a whole new level system, but you already trade some sort of levels. Like this could also be incorporated into someone's system without having to go learn.
Yeah. So like for the level system I trade, if we're going to get the move, it's usually going to be an explosive move.
Right.
Like if you look at the post I posted today, that was an absolute explosive move off that level, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I get 20 points, I start to scale out and put my stops full in profit, because if it's going to go, it's going to go, and I'll let my runners go. But if the way that I look at it is if it goes back against us, most of the time, and you guys know, if you get in a trade and it doesn't make the move within the first few minutes, it's not going to make the move. It's going to come back. It's going to stop you out. And I just recognize that over thousands of hours of trading, like trying to get these 50, 100, 150 point trades, because you see all these big traders posting that. I'm like, why don't I just take my 20 points and eliminate risk? And it ends up being like I haven't had a losing day in I think 2.5 weeks. I've took some small losses, but overall it's been not last Monday, the Monday before was my only losing day. And the reason why is because I'm just taking those base hits and recognizing that I always tell my students and traders I work with, take what you can get. Take what the market gives you. And I know that off these levels, if we get 20 points and it starts to come against us, then most of the time we're either going to be caught in chop or we're going to get stopped out. So if I just take those profits, set my stop to break even, and then just book what I book, if it goes, it goes. I'm still green on the day. And then today you get those moves where it's like 80 plus points, right?
So in every trade at 20 points, and we're talking about NQ, let's say we're talking about NQ at 20 points, you would take, what do you take, half off, a quarter off?
Like I right now I'm trading a personal account, like a cash account. So I have a decent amount that I'm playing with. So I'll play with 10 micros, right? So I have a certain max amount that I'm willing to risk every day. And I'll probably pull off, at 20 points, I'll pull off 7 micros. Okay. And then just let the run rest run. So
you move your stop to break even at that point. So you've insured your profit for the day. And then if you get any more out of the trade, great. And if not, you're still walking away green.
Exactly. And sometimes we get those moves. So today, like I let 10 micros run 80 points. It was almost 2K that trade, right? And I just started running. We came to the next level and I seen we started to slow down and I just trailed my stop really close and took the whole 10 micros at that whole 80 points, right? So
on a quick side note, with that personal account, then are you withdrawing
every day?
Okay, I wanted Austin's on this whole thing, and I'd love to hear. So, are you taking out what you make that day?
Yes. So I'll be honest, I haven't traded props since August. I've been trading.
I know. I remember you saying that last time we talked on the marketing call.
The only reason why is, like, don't get me wrong, props are great, and I know I've rinsed a lot of good payouts. You know what I mean? Like with Top Step, with and the exchange rate is crazy. Like that 52K hit the bank at 76K. You know,
I know.
It's like. So I invested. I traded my own capital before prop firms. Like I was a penny stock trader, traded penny stocks for 2 years, moved to options, traded options for like 3+ years, and now I'm just strictly futures and a little bit of options too. But I don't really do too much of it anymore, just because I find my system works best with NQ and the SP 500. So with the personal account, like every single day I pay myself. Now I could let it grow and have these big payouts, but why? Like I made 3K today. At dinner tonight, I'm gonna pay myself 3K. Yesterday, $1,000. Every night I pay myself. That's the way it is. It just take risk off the table. That's all there is to it. So, and you don't have any of the rules with the prop firms, right? That's the one thing that, like I'd have account. And when I got that big payout, the rules were a little different with Apex. They're like they are now. So, I don't want to have a 20% or 40% consistency rule. If I'm in a trade and it's running 80 points, I'm not going to cut it. So I wouldn't cut it. Then I'd have to wait another 5-10 days or 8 days with Apex to get a payout, right? So but what you're asking, I pay myself every single day at dinner every night. If I make money, boom, I pay myself.
Yeah, it's interesting because Austin's trading a pre-live account with Top One, and we were talking about he takes whenever he qualifies for a payout that day, and he's been almost hitting every day since he's been pre-live. He's taken out $300, $500, $600. And I said to him, why don't you leave it in there and let it compound and then trade? But he said the one thing, and it's a little bit different for you, but I love that you're saying it because this is the path I want to go. I'm going to put some personal money in an account and trade it. But he's like, in his situation in the pre-live, he's like, if I kept money in there, they're not giving me any more. I can only trade 10 micros.
Yeah.
So I can't trade anymore. So he's like, why am I leaving it in there?
Yep.
He's like, it's not like it's building me, giving me the ability to trade with more size. And so I thought about that, but then hearing you say it, because you technically could leave it in there, have bigger margin and trade more, but you're not. You're just, because we traded with another guy, Mark Ross, that did something similar. He put 10 grand in an account, and whatever he made at the end of the week on top of the 10K, he took out. And so I was thinking the same thing along the lines of, but I like the daily, okay, if I'm up 500, I take out 500 today. And then I guess when you're in drawdown, you won't take a payout on the account until
so I try to keep 20K in the account and 21,000, and anything up there, I just take. So if I have a bad day, say I come in, I lose $1,000, then I'll just wait till I get back above that 20K and start paying myself again, which is fine because I can go. With the system I trade, I have a high hit rate. So if I can pay myself, just average 500, $1,000 a day type thing, it doesn't matter if I have a bad day once every 2 weeks and I get back below, But man, like I'm telling you, Randy, I see you're a great trader. I think you should definitely try it, because once you start paying yourself every day too, that confidence comes up with what the trades you're taking. And it's good to show people too, right? Like, it's like, hey, listen, if you have a solid system that you can trade and you are getting payouts like Austin's crushing it, then if you actually did that with live cash, you would 2, 3, 4x the amount of money that you're making from the live prop or whatever, right? So
I was going to ask how much you needed to trade the 10 micros, and you already answered it, but I think it's good to know. Like, we talk to a lot of people and people say, take your payouts and funnel that into a personal account. Because you may be sitting listening to this thinking, well, I don't have 20 grand to put into a personal account right now. Okay, well, if you're trading prop firms, like, what do you do with those payouts? start funneling those. And now you can start trading a personal account without 20 grand. It's just if you want to get your size bigger for 10 micros, that's what you're going to need. But you can start with less. And if you still go down the path of trying to get payouts and then funding your personal account, that's a really great route to go.
I think that's what everybody should do. And you don't need 20K. Like you can do 1,000, 2,000, trade 1 or 2 micros and still pull out 50, $100 a day. You can still pay yourself $500 a week. That $2 grand covers the mortgage, covers the car note, right? And then you're not restricted with the rules and everything that props are. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still a prop trader. You know, like what's Apex, Top One, Take Profit, those are the 3. But I just feel like, you know, going from a full-time electrician, a full-time trader, I got to pay myself as much as I can. This is my livelihood. So if I can have, you know, 2 or 3 weeks where I'm crushing it on my live account and then maybe flop to a prop account when I feel like, you know, I've had a good run and I don't want to push it this week type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without putting you on the spot, but just even like, so and this is just me feeding into my own fears. When it comes to trading personal capital, like, and you have those instances where the day's not going as you planned, or, you know, you want to be stubborn, or you think you just have a read on the market and you don't, like, you just get, how do you avoid the chop, or how do you, because it's not like on Project X, you can just lock yourself out and walk away. And even then you can, and with trading personal capital, it's a whole different ballgame, because now you're at the, you know what I mean? Like, you have to get up and walk away. And if you don't,
discipline. It's all it is. It's hardcore discipline. And it took me a long time. I'll be honest, I blew through probably 50 or 60K of my own capital before I was able to do what I do now. I had a couple properties. I sold one before I started trading props. I learned the hard way. You know what I mean? Like, I came in with trading SPY on 0 DTA on FOMCs and lost $12,000 in 2 minutes. So I think now, you know, coming in like last week, not last week, the week before Monday, that was that red day, I lost $1,800. And I was up 977 on the day. And then I just, one of those days where I didn't really go on tilt. I traded a good setup, but I sized up more. I had 20 micros, let it go, didn't stop out, and that was it. So the rest of the week, I just cut my losses, walk away. It sucked, go to the gym, clear my mind. The next day I come in, I'm trading 4 or 5 micros, $500 a day. Next day, $500 a day. And then last week, I was back, confidence back up, and then I absolutely crushed it, you know, doubled what I lost the week before. That's all I can really say about it. You have to have that discipline to walk away. You have to respect that the market is going to do what the market's going to do. Our system's not going to play out every time. And I like to look at it like, okay, I'm here for the long run. I'm not worried about this one trade today. I'm worried about the next 1,000 trades. I'm going to be doing this till I'm going to be 80 years old trading. Like,
I know. I feel the same.
You know, so if I have one bad day on you know, personal cash, and it is what it is. It's the cost of doing business, right? The pros, you know, you see them lose triple what I'm losing. So, but it's tough. It's not like a prop, right? So you have a day, and I have blown, like, I've had accounts where they're at, like, you know, personal accounts at 5 or 10,000, and, you know, I trade them well for a month or two, and then I blow it, you know. So but I'm finally, you know, not knock on wood, but I've built the discipline up, and I believe how you are off the charts is how you are on the charts. Like, I'm very, very disciplined with everything. Like, I meditate every morning. I have a strict routine, the gym, proper diet, no sugars during the week. I know that, like, doesn't really transpire to trading, but I feel like it brings my discipline onto the charts too, right? So but it is tough. It's tough some weeks, right? It's not you're the mental capital to deal with it is definitely a lot of pressure some days, for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested in, I know another trader that he just puts 5,000 at a time in a personal account, trades it, makes money on it. Then if he loses it at some point, he loses it. And then he just waits again, and it either takes payouts or whatever it is, puts another 5K in, but he trades a lot heavier. He risks, you know, 25, 30% of the account per trade, which is he's totally comfortable with. So I don't know if I put, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20K in account, and I've been talking about it for like 6 months now. And
you know what I think you should do it and just trade like you're trading the props right now. Just go in with 3 or 4 of those. And then once you get that feel of, you know, paying yourself every day. I mean, with those live straight to funded accounts, you can do that. But say you have say it costs whatever, $400 average to get a live straight to funded. and then you have a 20% consistency rule. You know, it just, if you had $500 in a personal account, you could probably make that consistency rule every day or not worry about that consistency rule and pay yourself every day.
Oh no, I agree. I had probably like coming like end of summer, coming into fall, where I was in this, I called it like an instant funded death spiral, where I was just like going through these instant funded accounts because I'd get close or I'd go for max profit, and it was just like it never ended well. And then I traded Top Step and no consistency. And then I started paying myself every Monday. I paid myself, not on Friday. I waited till Monday so I could see that payout in the dashboard over the weekend, like have that discipline. Every Monday morning, I paid myself out a minimum of $1,000. Like I got the accounts to $3,000. I would take $1,000 out. Anything above $3,000 would come out, and I'd leave $2,000 in the accounts. And then, you know, I took out 9 payouts, and some were 1,600, some were 1,200, but never less than 1,000. And I can see that. That's where it started to click for me, the personal capital thing. And so then I went back and I challenged myself to an instant funded account, and I passed it in 6 days, max profit every trade, like 6 winning days. So I was like, I got rid of that limiting belief of I can't pass instant funded. I can only trade no consistency. And don't get me wrong, like you said, it's like I don't want to have any rules. Like we didn't get into trading to have rules. We got into trading to be our own, like to set the rules. Like this is what I'm going to do. And so now I'm back at that. I'm really working with top 1 accounts right now because I want to get pre-live just to get that taste of it. But it's like now talking to you, I just kind of want to put the money in the account and go, right?
And you're pre-live. You're real live.
And I'm real live, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not waiting for someone to say, hey, you're ready for pre-live. I'm doing it on my terms.
I'm going to show you something here. This is what's really nice about the live. So I don't know if you can see, but see, AMP every day.
Yeah.
Payout.
AMP.
How do you like trading with that, by the way?
Pardon me?
How do you like trading with that, by the way?
I love them. I love it. It's great. I think it's a great platform. I do trade with interactive brokers too, but I keep that to my options. But stuff like that, right? Like today I'm going to pay myself. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have a text from AMP, your withdrawal wire, and then I look at my bank and an hour later it's in there. And it's actually pretty cool because once you get going, like I actually had the bank calling me. Like before December, I was running it up. Like we had a really good run for a while. Levels were printing, and the bank's calling me like, "Hey, we just want to confirm like this is another payment from AMP." And I was like, "Man, I never thought I'd ever be getting calls like that from the bank." You know what I mean? Like we're like, why is there tens of thousands coming in from AMP, right?
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool. But I think anybody should do it. I think if a newer trader comes in, they shouldn't. I think you have to develop discipline and have a consistent, repeatable setup that you know is going to print out of every 1,000 trades, every 100 trades. You're going to make money on 50, 60, 70 of them, right? I think then once you have that down, then definitely jump into the live because, you end up paying yourself a lot more. But no, I think AMP's great. I mean, interactive brokers is good too, but AMP's good. It's just easy, right? It's just and
you're trading on TradingView?
No, I trade on Quantower. So I do all my charting on TradingView, but I don't like the order execution.
I hate TradingView.
I cannot do that. I'm an old school options trader. I use level 2 and time of sales. So I used to trade on DOS Trader. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I love that platform.
Yeah, it was expensive though, right? Like 200 American a month I was paying. So I traded options on DOS Trader. So then I got into the prop firm thing because I was growing in my community. I'm an analyst in another community, and everybody's prop firm. So I'm like, okay, you gotta show something with props nowadays, right? Yeah. So I got on there and I was trading on TradingView. I'm like, there's no way I can do this. Like, I'm an old school options trader. It's not for me. Then I went on to Tradeovate. It's okay, but I didn't like it. Then my other buddy who came from options, he's like Quantower. I got on Quantower. Man, I love it. Fast order execution. I like the way the candles print. It reminds me of DOS Trader. Really DOS Trader. And so I keep everything on there. I have multiple screens, my big 49 inches, all my trading views. So all my technicals, all the charting, everything's there. And then up top is my order execution. And I keep that completely plain. No lines, no levels, no technicals, no nothing, just order flow and candles printing. So
is it like similar to DOS Trader, how you could set up your like hotkeys and your order execution buttons and all these things?
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. Yep. Yeah. Like it's a little different, right? Like it's not quite like that, but just how the system operates and how it looks and how the candles print is how it kind of is similar.
And would you say it's easier to use than Tradevate? Because I cannot figure out Tradevate for the life.
I hate nothing against Tradevate. It's a great platform, but for me, I came in, I used it for a week. I was like, no, I think it's so easy. It's so easy. Like
okay,
it's a lot easier. And even moving your stops and trailing stuff, and it's very.
You can drag it and
you can drag it. Like you can drag it to the tick, to the point, right? And sometimes when you're trading, like you need to do that fast. Like that's like I'll trade live with my team, and they're like, "How did you get out of that so fast?" I'm like, I see it, and just the system that I'm using is quicker than doing it on TradingView and stuff, right? So, no, it's great. Cool. You can have lots of little hotkeys, like you're saying. Nice. Just run smooth, and it's nice because it's a great platform. Definitely, I wish more people used it because not many people, I don't think, really use it too much, to be honest.
Well, I noticed some of the props do offer it when you go to check out, depending if you want to be when you pick your platform, right? I've seen Quantower before, so I'm just at this whole because actually in British Columbia, a lot of the brokers will only work with people in Ontario for Canadian residents.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like even Tradevate, if I get a live account with Tradevate, it's going to be an issue because you can't have a Tradevate account in British Columbia. Only in Ontario. Ontario is the only province they service in Canada.
That's weird, eh?
And really weird. And so I was looking at, and then I was talking to Rebecca Trades through Ninja Trader, but through a broker called Iron Beam, but they're owned by Ninja Trader. So then you could use Ninja Trader's platform. I've never used Ninja Trader, but to be honest, I know people that use it that once you get to understand how it works, it can be really, really good.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was like stuck because I do all my charting on TradingView. And then even right now with Top One, I'm copy trading 3 accounts on Tradevate. So I have Tradevate open in a separate tab. I got to go in there, do my executions, and then it shows up on one of my TradingView charts that I have open just so it's visually appealing to me because obviously all my levels are on TradingView and what I'm using. And then Tradevate is just but I hate having to create a new stop and a new take profit. You can't move them. And then, like you said, sometimes you're in situations where you got to take profits fast. And it's like now you have a limit order of your stop sitting there. And if like Trump tweets something and price dumps and takes up your limit order, and now you're like, it's crazy, right? So
it's not ideal for day traders. Like, don't get me wrong, it's the best of the best for charting. It trumps everything. Like it's so aesthetically pleasing and everything's good, right? But when it comes to order execution, if you want to trade like we are, like hot, like quick scalps or 30-40 point moves, you want to maximize those profits, you're not going to be able to maximize it on TradingView, right? So I tried it and I was just like, no. But I know a lot of people like to take pictures of the all the like entry, exit and all that, so it's good for that. But if you want to make money, you gotta do what works best for you.
No, for sure, right? The name of the game is making money, not making things look pretty.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. That's you got me all fired up for this conversation of personal capital. So
I know I feel like because you've been talking about it for a while, and I should probably do it too, to be honest.
I think you both should, definitely. Even just have you traded personal capital before, or is it a new thing?
Christine has, like, with swing trading. I've had some investments that I've like bought and sold stocks, but I lost like $250,000 like 10 years ago. That I had money come in from the sale of some properties and stuff that it was like going to be like our nest egg.
Yeah. And
I thought I'd be smart and trade it. And I was basically just investing, and like I watched BNN every morning, and I really thought like I knew what I was doing. And one of the companies I bought was a blue chip company, and it ended up being a short seller came out on it. And I don't know if you remember Valiant Pharmaceutical, but I had it at like $3.25 a share, and I woke up, it was like $75. And I was like I'm not knowing anything. I'm trying to like dollar cost average into it and buy more. And it bounced briefly to 100 and then went to 0. And so it was like, I stayed away from anything personal capital. Like it scares the shit out of me.
It does. That's a big loss, man.
I didn't look at the markets for like 8 years. I refused to like even like talk stocks, look at BNN, anything.
Yeah.
And so when I decided I wanted to I used to have a construction business, and we were actually in the building cannabis, like medicinal grow facilities.
Okay.
So that market was really well, and that kind of faded. And I was like, I just wasn't happy with it. So I wanted to get out of it. And I found trading, thinking like I was always interested in it, I'm going to get into it. And I found Austin, and I thought I was going to trade Forex. So I reached out to him to be like, I listened to his podcast, and in the beginning 100 episodes are Forex. And so I'm like, I want to trade Forex. And he's like, we don't trade Forex anymore. He's like, we trade futures. And I'm like, what's a future? And lo and behold, 2.5 years, here I am now. Right. So it's like baby steps for me. But now I think more than ever, after that run of taking those consistent payouts, it's like that daily payout, seeing you talk about it, watching Austin do it, and then just watching like Austin's conviction and confidence is like, it's stupid. Like just watching him, and he's like, fuck it. He takes his trade, and then he doesn't even like, he will start talking about something and forget he's even got a trade on.
Yeah. He'll
look at it, and the chat will be like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your trade? And he's like, oh yeah, fucking, here's my stop. Here's my, like, he never puts a take profit in, right? But he's always got to stop. And he's like, fuck, it's doing what it's going to do. Like, I'm good. Right. And it's just like,
let it print.
Right. $500 someday, $600. Like today, he actually was funny because he made money to take a payout, but since it's with Top One, you can only do it like with these pre-live accounts, 24 hours. So once you take a payout, you don't get the next one. There's a timer, 24 hours. So he's like, he goes to take the payout, and he's got like, I don't know, an hour left, and he sees another trade present, takes it, hits it. So instead of taking 300 out on the day, he's taking 600. And he's like, the prop firm didn't even, they want me to make more money so I can take more money out of the payout. Like, it's like funny, right? Like, he's just making a joke of it. But, before, if you're trading an instant funded account, you wouldn't do that. You would have you would have locked the accounts out. You would have been done for the day, right? So he's like, and it wasn't in the second trade he took was just a beautiful setup again. So it's like, why not capitalize when you can, right?
So is he like VWAP and order flow, kind of like what you guys are trading?
Yeah. VWAP and order flow.
Great system to trade.
And then I introduced, we have another trader with us, Zach, that's ICT mixed with volume profile.
Nice.
And so I took his volume profile and then mixed it with Austin's VWAP, and me and Austin started order flow together, book map together. And now with the three of them, it's like I can sometimes when I'm on, it's the levels are there, right? Like value area low, previous days value area low was the bounce off of those lows, and then if you start thinking ICT and liquidity sweeps, and you see all the lows from previous day session, and you're just like, and I'm watching it, and it on NQ it actually overshot the New York VWAP on ES, but on NQ beautifully held it to a tick, and that was my entry signal on ES. Where people thought we overshot ES, this is coming down. I look over at NQ and I see it holding it beautifully, and then that bounce had already come in. I'm like, fuck, I'm in. And so I took a long on ES at that moment, where it's like I didn't even wait for it to get back above VWAP because NQ was my entry signal for it, right? Like it was there. So
see, that's great you say that, because that's something I use every day, is like SMT divergence, right? So when we have obviously correlating assets, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, they should run the same. So if you have if you have the NASDAQ take VWAP or take a prior day low or a key level, and the S&P 500 doesn't, then most of the time the stronger the asset's going to run, or they're both going to run. It's just big money, smart money techniques sweeping that liquidity. So it's just an extra edge in the market. So I love that concept, man.
And I love how you're like you're saying, like how you introduce like some of the ICT concepts to your levels, and now you have the confluences. Because for me, it was originally having VWAP, and then when we got Bookmap, we started to see resting orders at key VWAPs. And then when I introduced volume profile, it's like, well, now there's even more resting orders at volume profile. Now you have a VWAP, a volume profile level, and a bunch of orders on a screen that you're seeing. And it's like
you cracked the matrix.
Right? And it doesn't always work that way, because one institution or somebody or options dealers now have quite a bit of sway in the futures market that somebody can it's not 100% right. That's all I gotta say. So you got to remember, you're going to take that trade that is just absolutely a plus, and you're going to get smoked. It happens. Like that's all, right. So.
And you have to be okay with that. Like you could have, the thing is though, if that happens though, you can't be afraid to take it. So like we had that loss that I took last week. It was an A+ setup. We had SMT, we had a high time frame imbalance, we had a key level that we've already rejected like 3 times prior on the 30-minute time frame. I got to take that trade. We took it. I didn't take profit, got stopped out. but I'm not going to not take that the next time. And the next, like I could lose that 2-3 times in a row. I'm still going to trade that because that's our edge in the market, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was we went good there. That went
Yeah.
Man, I love talking.
That one flowed.
I know.
But we definitely yeah, no, anything else, Christine?
No, I think we talked about a lot. I guess the only other thing that I definitely noticed about your social media was the emphasis on time freedom.
Yep.
And freedom of life. And I think it's why a lot of traders trade, but I think you give a really good example of it, and you keep, I just saw it come up a lot, and it's a good reminder.
That's what it's all about for me. Like I'm in a Nike sweater. I don't wear no fancy stuff. I'm not really a watch guy. I drive an Acura 2020. It's been paid off for years. I don't need no new car, nothing. What I want is freedom. I sponsor my nephew's hockey team. If he's playing at any time of the week or a weekend, I can go see him. If I want to go to the gym, it's all about freedom for me. That's why I do this. That's the most important thing to me. Yes. Just to gain the freedom that we deserve, right? Because you guys know what it's like. You've probably all, work full-time jobs or still do it. And it's just, it doesn't give us what we want. I didn't, like my last job, I was an electrician at a plant, and every single day I had to fingerprint scan to get in. I used to cringe. And I remember I have a video of me that when I left work to trade full time, and I was like, last fingerprint. Yeah. Like if I want to go to the trailer on a Thursday at noon, and I used to go there and I'd have to come home Sunday night, and I'd have anxiety coming home because I'm like, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow. Now I just don't come home. I just wake up with my laptop the next day and trade right on the deck. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all about freedom for me. That's what it's all about.
That was a bit of a shift for me recently, because I know when you're new, it's so funny. It's like you got to put in like 10,000 hours of chart time just so you can work an hour a day. And it's like, I'm at 3 years. Like I've had a lot of chart time. Still, I'm learning. Don't get me wrong. But I really felt like I needed to change my priorities of what they were. So I was able to write them down, and like trading, I think, was like third. So I was writing my markup today, and it's like, it literally says it's Pilates day because I found a Pilates class I like, and it's at 9:15 in the morning. Like that's kind of not the ideal time to go work out, because a lot of times you want to be on the market. But for me, my priority shifted to, like, if I find something like a workout that I really like, that's comes before trading. So I was on the charts for literally 15 minutes, and it was like, it's Pilates day. So I had about 15 minutes on the desk. When it hit $1,000 in profit, I was good with that, and I took it.
That's an awesome day.
Because I had to go to Pilates, and it's like, but that's a lot different than what it used to be when I used to say, oh, I can't do that Pilates class at 9:15 because I'll be working.
Yeah.
It's, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm here, but it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm here for like 20 minutes.
Yep.
And then I'm gone. And it's been working well. That's all I'll say.
Realistically, less is more in the market.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you got to go to those classes. We need to keep mental capital, right?
Yes.
So that's a huge thing for traders. We just, less is more. So you got to enjoy. We do this to be free, so we got to make sure we enjoy that freedom, because that's what it's all about.
Well, that's what even.
Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
I was just gonna even say, like, we're going to Mexico next week. Like Christine lives in Mexico. We were down there for a month in October, and we decided after that month that like we want to move down here. And believe it or not, it doesn't take a lot of money to do it.
No,
I just have the ability to work remote and to trade. And so it's like, we're going down in a week to go secure like a long-term lease for next year. We're going to go down for 2 months right now.
Looking up to you guys right now. That's goals.
Well, no, but honestly, Brad, I would think I would be doing this in my 60s or 70s, like retiring. And it's like, what am I waiting for? Yeah. I'm spending the same amount, if not more, living here every month. Mm-hmm. Why would I not? And I think, you truly start to see it, because then people that you thought were, there to support you are really like throwing their shade on it now, because you're doing what they think is not possible. And where I'm trying to go with this is, and I try to tell people, it's so possible. Like things are achievable if you just want it. Like it's not like I'm going to go to Mexico and we're going to live in this, 6,000, 10,000 square foot palace on the beach. Like, no, but we're going to live like the quality of life is going to be amazing.
Yes.
And that's what matters for me. And it's like, that's why this whole personal thing, like even if I took $500 a day, that's $500 a day I could have been making here. Now I'm in Mexico making it, like,
and it goes so much farther,
right? And it's just I think like the value of that, and just people understanding that if they have a dream, I'm gonna fly on a private jet someday. That's another dream of mine, right? But it's not going to happen, anytime soon, which is, I'm fine with it. But if I'm living in Mexico, working towards that dream, watching Hillary and Miles go to the beach, or Hillary and Christine go to Pilates, and our son gets to learn to go to the beach and learn, like Christine's son's in surfing lessons. That's his extracurricular. Cool. That's what he does after school. He does surfing lessons, right? And it's like,
that's awesome.
Like, to give those experience, I think is more important than buying a Rolex or flexing that Lambo and all that shit. Right. So,
that's where it's all about that, right? Giving yourself and your family, your children, the life and the freedom that they deserve. So what part of Mexico are you in right now?
We are north of Puerto Vallarta. So if you've watched the news, maybe
I was just going to say, it's pretty crazy down there right now.
We won't probably go into it, but everyone knows that the news can kind of.
It's a lot worse than it is. Yeah.
But
everyone, place to be right now after.
Yeah. Everyone has their own experience. You can put us all three in one experience, like one situation, and we all come out of it with different feelings. Mm-hmm. So whatever people feel is valid. My kids are in school today. People are out and about. We're all smiling. My Pilates class is on. My daughter's dance class is on. Yeah. We're all just living. And so are the people in Mexico. Like it's a reality that they live with all year, because the cartel is very much in charge of this country, and they've just learned to make it part of their society. And of course, scary. There were a lot of people scared for sure. But we're all good. We're all safe and happy, and weather is still nice.
Yeah, the language barrier when you first moved down there. I have so many questions because I aspire to be like where you guys want me to, right?
It is so much closer to your grasp than most people realize.
Like you said, you just got to want it. And the trading and the avenue that we've chosen enables us to do that. We can work from anywhere,
Yeah. Language barrier. My kids are great. They're in a school where they teach them how to speak Spanish. So literally they translate for me now. I am in a very touristy area. So, it's the unfortunate part is that I don't actually have to learn Spanish.
There's a lot of expats. It's like 50% expats.
Yeah. So very livable. Like if no Spanish, very livable. Obviously I'm getting so much more comfortable hearing it. I can understand so much more. We have Spanish lessons, things like that. Yeah. But you can move to Mexico without knowing Spanish 100%.
We don't know Spanish, and we thought it was going to be an issue, and we're just going to wing it, man. Like I'm telling you, Brad, if you go where Christine is in Sayulita, it's like a little beach community. There's no all-inclusive hotels. Like it's small.
That's what I like. Yeah,
it's golf carts. You have your own golf cart. You drive a golf cart to out everywhere you go. Like it's something else. It's a different life for sure. And it's something when we got there, it's like that sense of community that we don't have anymore here in Canada, like anywhere. And you know what I mean? Like it's cool, man. So you got to come down one of these days and check it out for sure.
Definitely. So you bought there. What about because I think my first step would be, I've already been looking at like Colombia and other places. I know some traders in those areas, Puerto Rico, but I was looking at this year. I almost did it, but I didn't. But next year I'm looking at maybe doing an Airbnb from like November till end of February type thing, right?
Yeah.
Is there Airbnb?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what and we got the place that Christine introduced us to, some like this building. They have units in there, Brad. I'll send it to you. It's 9 units, and then the building has a rooftop pool with an outdoor kitchen. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's only 9 units in the building, and they're all the owners rent them out as Airbnb, and you can get them for long term.
Yeah, perfect.
Like
you rent it. We're staying in the same place for 2 months, and then we're gonna either get a house or we're gonna get a unit in that building for a year at a time now. So
goals. See, I'm gonna at the trailer park out in Westlake.
Yes.
A lot of snowbirds live out there, and I'm probably the youngest one in the park, right?
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
For 10 years now, but I'm probably the youngest one. But I would love to be like, oh yeah, heading down to
seriously,
just come back fly back, head to the trailer, live at the trailer on the lake all weekend.
Well, you guys will be on the same
summer.
flight. You guys will be on the same flight as Christine comes home for the summer.
Yeah, me too. When you come home, definitely.
I
always go over to Isaiah and have a nice lunch, stuff like that.
Yes.
Come to the trailer, go for a boat ride,
Yes.
barbecue. I'm always out there. I love that lake. It's like Miami out there.
I know.
You know, like not the party vibe, but like the nice sand dunes and everything. You know.
Yep.
You gotta come too. You gotta fly down to Ontario.
Yeah,
We were gonna come. We were gonna come this last summer, but maybe we might come this summer out to visit. So because my sister's out and we go out to visit her, right? So it's like we were gonna try and rent a place at where Christine is.
Yeah,
rent a place for a few weeks and come out and see her. Even now, when we move to Mexico, we're gonna be living the 3 or 4 months of the year. We're not in Mexico. We're just gonna be nomads. So we'll do like a monthly Airbnb, whether it'll be somewhere in the US or with Christine or, you know, somewhere in the interior or here in BC, like on one of the lakes. So that's
I have an Airbnb there. You could
yeah.
that.
There you go.
I always forget about it because we don't property manage it, but I'm like, oh wait, I think you could rent that one.
So, works out perfect.
Cool.
But yeah, no, great conversation. Brad, we're gonna have you on sooner than later to do a follow-up on this personal capital journey.
Yeah, I'd love it, man. I'll be honest, I really appreciate you guys taking me on today. This was great. You know, I love connecting with fellow traders, especially ones I've never met anybody like in the area either that really trade like we do, right? So it's kind of cool. But yeah, hopefully I answered some of the questions. I definitely think you guys should go for that personal capital. I mean, never throw away prop, but you know, you've seen the messages there. It's nice waking up and getting a text with no restrictions, right?
Yeah, I love thanks for showing that.
I will. But no, seriously, we appreciate you being here. Any comments in the chat, guys? You have any questions for Brad? We'll have him back. We will link everything in the description where to find him. Just hit it's SavvyB everywhere, probably, right?
Yeah, SavvyBTrades. Yep, SavvyBTrades on Instagram. SavvyTraders on YouTube. I'm a little I guess a little old school. I don't run up the YouTube too much, but you know, I got all kinds of education on Instagram and then TikTok, SavvyBTrades. Yep.
Awesome.
And yeah, I think that's a wrap.
Thanks,
awesome,
Brad.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the time. Appreciate this. Take care, eh?
Oh, you don't got to leave yet.